Hello, and welcome to the Unpacked and Empowered Plus Finances podcast, a space where we dive into personal growth, financial empowerment, and real stories from fellow newcomers navigating life in Canada. This podcast is your go to for self improvement tips, financial literacy, and authentic conversations with inspiring individuals, whether they're building businesses, managing careers, or sharing their expert insights to uplift our communities. This podcast is for educational purposes only and not intended for personal financial advice. Everyone's financial situation is unique, and I encourage you to speak to a licensed advisor or planner for personalized guidance. I'm a licensed life, accident, and sickness insurance advisor in New Brunswick and Ontario, Canada. Today, we're going to unpack the pyramid of financial priorities, a concept that helps you build financial security from the ground up, especially when you're starting over, whether as a newcomer to Canada or building a new life phase, just like starting a family. Why a pyramid? So, a pyramid reminds us to start at the bottom with essentials before reaching for the top. Think of it like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need to meet your basic survival needs like food, shelter, and safety before pursuing relationships, achievement, or self fulfillment. In the same way, financial security must start with protection and stability for aiming for investments, wealth, or legacy. This framework is used by experts in the financial planning industry, and it helps you build in the right order, especially when you're starting over. So, let's dive in on the pyramid of financial priorities. So, let's talk about the level one, which is your protection first. You are your biggest asset, and just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we need a safety layer. The base of your financial pyramid is protection. If you think about it, before you save, invest, or pay off all your debts, ask yourself, what if something happens that impacts my ability to earn? So, it is highly recommended that we address non controllable risks first. And these are disability, serious illness, premature death, job loss, medical emergencies. And we do have insurance tools like life, disability, or critical illness coverage that exist to help protect the income that supports your family and lifestyle. Now, if you're a newcomer without work benefits, personal financial protection becomes even more important. The level two is the emergency fund. An emergency fund is your financial safety net. This should come first before saving for retirement or paying off all debts. And this protects us from unexpected losses or unexpected things like we need to repair our home or something happened, we need to move out of the apartment or maybe a broken car, even a job loss. So, for example, in a couple where there's two people working and the family relies on both incomes, one of them loses a job, then if we have an emergency fund, we have something to pull from for the expenses that needs to continue day to day. The third level in the financial pyramid of priorities would be to pay off high interest debt because high interest debt can trap us in the past. So I would recommend that once protection and emergency fund are in place, we can start working on clearing credit card debts, payday loans, and other high interest balances. Debt payments reduce our capacity to save and grow wealth, so it's important for us to tackle those next. The fourth level in the pyramid would be asset protection. Now that you've built up some momentum, go back to playing defense. This level is about protecting your assets like your home, car, income, and even your future earnings. And that includes home or auto insurance, personal liability, and updating your life or disability coverage to match your growing needs. And that's why it is highly recommended that if you have a financial advisor or if you have life insurance that you've purchased in the past, it's important to have a review every once in a while because our needs may change as well as we grow. Asset protection, think of this like reinforcing your shelter in Maslow's pyramid. It keeps everything else safe. The fifth level is saving for your goals. With the basics secured, now you can dream a little and prepare for maybe your kids' future. So your kids' education in Canada, we do it with RESP, or the Registered Educational Savings Plan. You can also start off with home buying, or for some people it could be in the beginning that they start to buy a home. But where we're discussing, if you are starting over, then ideally, once you've done all the other levels in the beginning, then this is the time that we can invest maybe for a home that we're going to live in, so we don't have to continue renting. For some other people, renting is fine for them for a lifetime. But for those who want to have their own home, then this is the time that we start working on that goal. So retirement savings as well. So we in Canada, we have RRSPs, TFSAs to save for these types of goals. We can also save for our vacations or hobbies. We have sinking funds or other funds that we some for some people they may call it a vacation fund or vacation savings. So think of it whatever you want to call it, as long as it motivates you to save for that goal. Now, why are these goals on the upper level compared to maybe saving for it in the beginning? The reason why we're doing it now compared to earlier is because these are controllable priorities. Once you've built on your foundation, you now have the confidence to plan and build with intention. At the top of your pyramid is growth and legacy. This is the time where we can invest, buy a second property, business ventures, or maybe start the legacy planning. And we can talk about these things in detail in the next episodes as well. But remember, this is the top, not the start, and it only works if the foundation is solid. I'm not a financial planner, but I'm a life insurance advisor, and this is part of our day-to-day job is to explain this to the people that we talk to every day. Is if, for example, if you're trying to go for saving RESPs, for example, in the beginning, but without protection for yourself, if something happens to you and you can't work because of a disability, it's going to be hard for you to save up for your children's education. And so, just like in the common example of if you're in an airplane, you need to save first yourself before you can save your child. So, we need to protect ourselves first because we are the ones who are really protecting our family from uncontrollable circumstances in life. So, how do we begin? So, start with three simple steps. First, identify your goals. So, write down your short and long term dreams or goals. The second step is to calculate your net worth. And you can do that by calculating what you own versus what you owe. So this would be tackling assets and liabilities. And the third one is to create a budget. So not just to look back, but to plan forward. Some people would call it a spending plan because really it's about how we spend our money. So this would give you clarity. And once you're clear, you can make decisions that match your values. If you're someone in need of how to start, I recommend that you consult a financial advisor or you consult someone in the financial planning sector, like in banks, or even someone like myself who's working on life insurance, who's working on different types of protections and even savings as well. That gives you a start. And now, before we end, I just wanted to encourage you that you might be starting over, but that doesn't mean you're starting from nothing. You're starting from experience. And just like the Maslow's model, financial security starts by meeting your needs at the base, and only then can you reach your full potential. Building your financial pyramid one layer at a time is how you create a secure and empowered future for yourself and for your family. Thanks for listening to the Unpacked and Empowered Plus Finances podcast. If you found this helpful, I invite you to follow this podcast and share it with someone who's also navigating new beginnings. Education is the first step in empowerment. And remember, build wisely, layer by layer, you've got this.